look at the machines. So people can operate these machines. When they go home, it will keep on going on in their head. But we weren't given. But I haven't given up.
All right.
I will still.
When we talk about empowering these women and girls in science for a sustainable future, you've started something in that regard with the aim of, trying to empower them. Are there more things you are doing in your center, maybe to collaborate with the government to make it bigger or to get more people into what you are actually doing?
Yeah. Like uh, 2 years ago, we had a competition. I called it mathematics mindset cultivation.
Okay.
And whenever such things are to be done, it's 50-50. Five boys, 5 girls. And that one, I called it community involvement. It's the community that has to sponsor it. The community took care of whatever we did that day. I did it in my own town, Amis. And the PG was very happy. He cooperated and helped me to organize it. And the children were happy. When you see we started with primary one students. You see these children very, very happy, having given a certificate of what they did. And they were. Then the next step was Aguata local government. And many towns, only 5 towns brought their children. And that's how I have been doing it. I'm trying to organize it in our own constituency. I'm just gradually moving out because if I lump them together.
Why I asked whether you're collaborating with government. Currently, the Anambra State, they are doing One Youth, Two Skills, and of course, they are into ICT, and they normally give out laptops to children after some trainings that require laptops. That's why I asked this question, whether you are collaborating, because some of these kits you are handling might through the effort or through the collaboration go higher in the area of science.
I haven't linked up with the state owned. The only thing the state, when we started the Space Week, it was sponsored by the state.
Okay.
Yeah, when Professor Kate Omenua
was the Commissioner for Education.
Yeah, she was very happy. She attends the competition. She attended the competition. Okay. And she saw what these children did. So, but linking up with the new one from the present government, I'm just planning a way to get those children.
Okay.
And because one thing that's hindering our movement is the insecurity issue, moving these children about. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, we're talking about empowering women and girls in science for a sustainable future. Well, a bit of the girl child. Now, let's talk about women. Let's talk about their mothers. Is there an adult education forum where women that have gone past the age of going to class are being, assembled, where you come and teach them science-related issues in order to empower them in their own local community? Does your organization have anything of such?
Yeah, I belong to an organization, OSDU, Organization of Women in Science for the Developing World. We do organize such things, especially on agricultural area, educating them on preservation and the rest, and hygiene. OSDU, I did that with OSDU. And OSDU is an international.
It's a closed chapter, or you're still doing it?
We're still doing it.
Okay.
Like recently, with this International Year of Women in Science, each branch are planning what to do with girls' schools, what they will give to the society. Yeah. It's on.
As Africans, we usually say when you teach a girl child, you understand, when you empower a girl child, you empower a community. So with this effort, laudable effort, contributions that you're bringing to the girl child and the women in your society, how soon do we start seeing the ripple effect in that technological, agricultural advancements? Let's start with Anambra State before we begin to talk global.
You know the problem women have? Initially, we are not exposed to science. If we read the history of women in science, there are a lot of improvements. Many girls are going into science now. So the growth is coming gradually. It's gradual process, just like education. It's what I know, and I believe that in the next 50 years, we may be talking of 70% against 50% of women in technological professions. If you go to the university, let me take KOU for example, majority of the teachers in physical sciences and natural sciences are women professors. And that is a good example that we are coming up, and we are trying to encourage the young ones to come in.
I hope you're not leaving the male gender.
No, they are there. They move on.
I hope you're not leaving
No.
Still come to that.
No, we are not leaving them. That's why, before women were put aside.
Okay. We want to bring them at par with men before.
Yeah,
okay.
Providing the same environment.
Okay, now sister, we know that the way the world is going currently, you can't actually do without science and ICT, all whatnot. No, so now in your firm and in Anambra, so to speak, what are the steps or further steps you're taking to ensure that more girls and women are brought into the system to expose them to science?
Yeah, at least many of them in admission now. You see many girls coming into computer science, engineering. I'm looking at my own university here.
Okay.
Engineering, biological sciences. When you get into the exam hall, you see that the number of girls is almost out within the number of boys in the classroom. But the problem the girls do have is that after first degree, to continue is a problem.
Right.
Why? One, marriage. When they get married, either they were asked to stop their education, or they will be asked to change to another profession to enable them manage
the home.
That has been a big problem. You see, I have my students whom I taught chemistry. And when they finished, I said, where are you? Are you not coming to do your master's? She said, sister, no. And instead of doing her master's in chemistry education, she went and did business education.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised to hear this in this 21st century.
Yeah.
That marriage can stop someone from reading a course.
That has been the problem. Many, like some of the medical doctors, they have a problem managing their home and their work. It's down because of going to UK and America for job or nurses. There's that problem there. When you get to a university, maybe you take time go there, you will see many young girls in these areas. But when you start counting the number that progressed and advanced, the number started
dropping
seriously.
I think something needs to be done about this. I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised to hear that in this 21st century, that somebody would tell somebody to drop because of because of the home or whatever. So is science that tedious?
It is. You know, I'm
Is it
not.
all sciences? Because I know that there are some courses that you even need as a mother, like nursing, some of these science subject
But you know,
courses.
the night duty and the involvement in those areas.
I run night duty.
These are
I did
these
night
are
duty throughout my year of
And
childbearing.
that's the excuse they give.
Really?
Why is it that you have up to 30 students doing chemistry education, and when it comes to do their masters, we only have 2 or 3? What prevented
This is
them
a
from
serious
continuing?
issue.
there could be other factors responsible for that decline. You understand, for them not pursuing it. But then, to me, getting married should be that you support. That's why I said I'm an advocate for women and empowerment and the rest of it all. It would be a good thing to both parties, that your wife gets to the peak of whatever academic pursuit, so long she has her support. And then in the area of that, somebody is going that is where I will say you complement each other. It's like a marriage. If madam is overwhelmed at work, there's nothing stopping Oga from stepping in.
You are
to
talking
help.
as if you are not a Nigerian.
But I'm still talking as if they are not doctors that are out doing both the job at home and office. So sometimes it depends on the human being and the role that they are taking care of. So it's a bit of both. I won't just say it's edge in blind like that. Most men don't want their wife to progress. I wouldn't think that. At the same time, it could be women deciding that this is what they equally want for themselves too. People can come up and decide that I don't want to go any further. This first degree is okay. I don't want to do masters, and probably seek other ventures for themselves. So
yeah, we can't rule out those ones.
Exactly.
But
So,
all the same, you know what it is in Africa.
the cost of financing going to school too
Going to
is also
With the finance, another major issue is the finance.
too.
Yeah, because the man may not be ready financing the education of the wife as well as that of the children. And anyway, the problem, I pick that one, that when you get into the classroom, you see many girls reading science. But at the end of the day, the number keeps dropping. How many professors do we have? It's now they are struggling. Those who had made it up to masters, struggling to get their PhD, and working hard to get to that top, in spite of whatever.
Anyway, I must express my surprise at this point, that this 21st century, what sister is telling us is actually happening. But she's in the system, so she should know what actually is happening. But I think at this point we'll need to probe further to find out what actually is going on, why the decline in some of the women going into science courses. I will take a short break here. The program returns after now. Do join us again.
Glad to have you back. You're still on ABS. Good morning, Anambra, this lovely morning. And we're still talking about the girl child and empowering women in the art of science for a sustainable future. Talking about science. Science is just everything that you see on around you. And we still have our professor in the studio here talking about the challenges women face while we don't have most ladies actually in that area. Well, she talked about finance, talked about marriage being an impediment, and then probably the economy of the country. You understand? That's finance. So, well, let's get to know other challenges that might mitigate against having the girl child, you understand, fully empowered in the area of science acquisition and the rest of it all. Now, talking from the context of being African, science education in all is good, but How then do you marry it with some cultural beliefs that the role of a woman is in her room? You understand? As it was widely said by our former president. When you take this side by side tradition and culture and then education, don't you see that there's going to be some
conflict?
Yeah, severe conflict.
Yeah.
How is your organization trying to surmount such areas of conflict?
You see, one of them is what we are doing now, educating the public on the importance of girl child education in science and the importance of having them in scientific professions. The culture has a lot of impact in depriving the girl child of sciences. Let me ask the question, how many of our parents first and foremost should encourage the girls to do some of the, to engage in some of the scientific professions? It's not only the boys. How many times have they cautioned the girl if she didn't do well in any of the science subjects in school? But we do it for the boys. When the boys failed mathematics or any of the science courses, because the father wants him to be a medical doctor, the father will school the boy and encourage him to do well. How many of our parents do the same for the girl child? And also, most of the time, when you are buying toys for your children, what type of toy do you buy for the girl child? To carry a baby all the time. So that's it. And you get a gun for the boy.
Sometimes you don't even buy. You take your children to the shop where they sell toys, and then you tell them to pick. You see the boy go pick cars,
Gun.
pick guitar, pick anything.
And
the girl go pick a doll that talks to her. So
that's where you should come in. Why can't you do that? And secondly, if the girl picks the gun, the question you ask, are you a man? That's the first thing whoever took them to that shop
will ask.
Are you a man? Because it's in the mind of the society that we are meek, human. And for us to handle gun, it's not. And second, it's not that. How many times have you asked your daughter, go and change the bulb in the room, in their own room, without involving the young boy?
Or go start the generator.
Or go and start the generator. You keep on preserving them, protecting them from danger. You don't know what these boys gain by giving them such a challenge. It builds their esteem.
Yeah, they know how to.
Yeah.
Now, talking about girl child when it has to do with science-related things. I've seen a situation whereby someone's vehicle broke down and they took it to the mechanic, and then they now sent a girl mechanic. And the man said, what could this lady possibly know about a vehicle? And he insisted that he needed a man to come and check his vehicle. So I think your organization has a whole lot to do with reorientating and changing the narrative, from that educational point of view, that what a man can do, a woman can actually do better. So it goes beyond just saying that okay, women need empowerment, and the rest of it all. Like you said, how do we get this, take off from the on-go? You have successful female pilots. You have successful female sailors and the rest of it all in other climes. But in this part of the world, it's very, very scarce. You hardly find, even the ones that you have, is so celebrated. When men have driven cars in Nigeria for over 40 years, we are celebrating Ransom Kuti for driving car, for being the first woman. And they said men have driven cars decades before she was even the first woman to have driven a car. So what can be done? What can I do? What can your organization do? Now, this is more like a clarion call for us to get our women more engaged. But I've learned something now. When next I want to get my gen start, I take my daughter downstairs. I say,
show her how to do it.
Pull it and let's see how it
She will do it.
Exactly.
Even when there is a punch tire, let her, because it doesn't need much energy. Let her change it. Not when her tire punctures on the road, she will be looking around.
And most women don't even know. I'm sure Nanyanya doesn't know how to change spare time.
Talk of the word, you know.
We need to expose the girls to some of the things.
But at the same time, the girls will still tell you that this is the man's job.
No, why did I say no? You know, when you have a boy and a girl in their house, most of the time, the girl will be washing the plate used for cooking and eating, sweeping the house. What would the boy be doing that time? The boy will just move out of the house. Before you know it, in the next 10 minutes, he has gone around the whole village. It's an experience. And these are the experience the girls don't have. Because
fortunately, I think, I don't know if my own is she really a girl? Because she's the one that starts generator for me. My daughter is the one that starts generator for me. But the issue now is, how do we surmount these challenges that we've pointed out here?
You see, that is what we do within this period of educating the society. That they should allow the girls freedom. You know, stop doing that. You are a woman. It gets to the back of her brain. And whatever she wants to do, I don't know what I will do, mommy will say, sit well. So let us allow these girls to get out. What I taught them during one of our conferences was that if you come to the house, share the housework among the boys and the girls. A time is coming when the woman is, as he was saying, if you are too busy, the man go to the kitchen, warm the soup, do everything, and everybody will eat. But we normally reserve those things for the woman. Even when she came back so tired, she must get into the kitchen. And the man will come back 30 or 1 hour earlier, relaxed. And this woman will come with heat and everything. The husband must eat, the children must eat. We have to liberate, do a lot of things to let get into our culture, to allow women to move, to live their natural life. It's not going to be easy, but we have to continue gradually. It was the same in developed countries, but they have to conquer it. And laws, policies help to liberate women from most of them. Look at what we are doing now, inheritance rights. How many families have gone to court because of that? Give this girl her share of her parents' property. It's an issue. It's an issue. As if she wasn't, those are not her parents. And she will go poverty-driven, begging for what to eat, begging for a house, and all those things.
All right, can we now talk about what we stand to gain when we harness the potentials that are in women and girls in science? What do we stand to gain as a people? And what do we stand to lose when we don't harness, as culture inhibits us? What would we stand to lose at the same time?
You know, science is diversity.
All right.
Science gains by diversity. When there are many with different experiences, different exposures, economy will improve.
Okay.
There will be growth in the society because everybody will be part of the problem and part of solving the problem. Because everything has been done by men, the little experience they have, they are using it. But the women who are more in number, their own potential, God gave everybody talents. They are not using their own talents. So the men's own are not enough to solve the problems in the society today. But when we have many women if not equal, at least to some extent, to help the men, a lot of things will come up. And it will reduce, you see, a mother who is an engineer will not be part of developing a bomb that will kill her children. They will devise another ways of addressing problems instead of always armament and the rest of them. Because when women's ideas are brought into discovery and development, a lot of new things will go into them. We have a lot to gain. The diversity of experience and talent. And when we don't involve them and they're still lacking behind, that is our underdevelopment. Because the men's talent are not enough to lead us to where others are. I was reading the other day, NASA established a station at USA. The people controlling that establishment are women. The number of women there is outwitting the number of men. And they are doing wonderfully well. It's not only when Armstrong was the only person who went. These women, they go to the space almost on monthly, yearly basis. And it's helping to, down, because they are involved, the management is now shared. And a lot of ideas are coming in. But when you don't involve them, they remain there. And they know ignorance and lack of education cause a lot. It's harmful than whatever you can think of. So we need to encourage our girls, beginning from the mother.
All right, you know this story of our young girls from that school in Onitsha, that Uchioma Onwamebu took them to US, that won in the area of STEM. And this year's message from the UN General Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, says that let's help pave a path to STEM careers that women and girls deserve and our world needs. You know, do you think this is achievable in our land, and how?
It is. Like, you know, my area is mostly STEM, and my inaugural lecture.
You know, after that, Onitsha, we've not had something.
Because
yes.
There's no continuity. It demands money to help the poor, the woman to continue.
Now, how do you think government can come in? Because I know that when government comes in with those girls and other girls that will come after them, you know, this STEM issue, because you said is a possibility. How do we get them to come in and help push it?
There was a day I said our education system is poorly funded. Education is money. And if you want to get if you want to get the merits of it, you must put in money there. Like that of Onitsha. The lady is there struggling to know what to do. But that thing ended abruptly that way. Because she couldn't continue. Probably the principal cannot continue to fund it. And they can't do anything. So we need to, not only the government, individuals.
She's not really resting. I think currently there is something, there's a fund attracted from, is it Harvard University? To that, you know, she has a small this thing. Yeah. So I don't know if you people can collaborate to bring this thing to bear.
We do. It's, you know, each person is acting on his own, on her own, based on her motto. We do. That's why I knew her. Because there was a one competition. She was there. That was how I knew the problem she's having. Yeah, we do. But there's need to come together and push. So that if the government wants to help, they will know exactly
where to come in.
Where to come in. Yeah.
I believe that most times for the women and the girl child to have what it takes in order to excel the pathway should be by policy making and implementation. Now, the question is how well has your organization, gone as far as trying to have laws that will propagate girl-child inclusiveness in scholarship, especially the science aided ones, so that they can get scholarship and study and get better opportunities in order to, perfect what they are doing. And then on the area of politics too, because political science is still science, even though it's not your lab science, you understand? Don't you think that the more ladies we have in politics, it will further make it a lot easy in trying to get these things enshrined in our constitutions in order to stop this issue of who gets what and who is entitled to what? Demographically, Nigeria's population tilts more on the female than the world's population tilts more on the female. So, and the women are more in number on planet Earth, more in number in Nigeria, and you're still complaining that you need inclusion. So now the question is, does it mean that your number doesn't count for something?
Because the policy makers do not consider the number of women.
Do not consider the number of women.
The women, to get them involved.
Now,
just look at, look at during election. And look at how this young woman is being harassed at the Senate. Was she the only person there? It's all these things set people apart. Give them opportunity to. When it comes to politics, if women get into politics, they will do well. But are they given the opportunity?
that is what we keep talking about.
The policy,
Who gives the opportunity?
The government, the law, the constitution of the country has
Nobody is inhibiting, limiting, preventing
No.
women from delving into politics.
Assess the constitution of America and our own. It was clearly stated what the women, their role and their rights. I just said common birthright of inheritance is difficult to.
That is custom. That is our custom. That is not enshrined in our constitution.
The government.
It is now in law.
It's
It
law.
is signed into law now.
It's now. I was.
It is signed into law. You give a girl her inheritance.
That's what I'm saying. I said the reason why it's not happening in this side of the country is not enshrined in the constitution. That's tradition. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about how do we get these women empowered. One, they are more in number. They are the most educated because you go to exam centers, you see more women there. Yeah. So they are the one even chasing this education. But why do we still come up here and be talking about women? Whereas you guys, so it's like the minority is trying to overwhelm the majority.
The government has to come in, and the government and majority are men.
Now, what is your organization going to do in order to get that balance sorted out?
After every conference, we normally send a communique. It's everybody, there are duties are shared. Our own is to organize this conference, discover what the problem is, we send a communique. This is the situation. It's left for the government to know what to do. We can't do everything. We are not the policy makers. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
The government has to do their job. The people there in government are human beings, and they're seeing these lapses all over.
All right, we can actually go on and on, but I think this is where we are wrapping up for now. Empowering women and girls in science for a sustainable future. That's the bone of contention this morning on this show with Reverend Sister Professor Benedette Ezeliora. It's been mind-blowing, and to find out that, at a point that the number of women in sciences will start dropping. This is a very serious issue of concern to us this morning. And of course, you've seen that when more women are into science, a lot of things will begin to change, and they will support, like my colleague said, compliment me, I compliment you. When more of us are in science, education, we help to support what men there are already doing, and our society gets better for it. We'd like to thank you so much for watching this morning, and we'd like to appreciate the Reverend Sister for coming this morning. Reverend Sister Professor Benedict Ezeliora is a Department of Science Education, Chukwuemeka Odomego Juku University here at Ibariam. She's also the National Coordinator, Young Scientist Center. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for letting us know your challenges, which we believe that something will be done soon.
Thank you for our listeners. Something has to be done. Development is a gradual process, but our own development is becoming very slow. We need to sit up.
All right. Something will be done urgent. That's once we are alive, there is hope. Thank you so much. My name is Nonya Mokoye.
And I'm Ajuluchuku Okabwe.